today we're going to do create a wall hanging. So I'm going to take this pumpkin placemat from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to do some stuff to it, and we're going to make a wall hanging to hang right next to that wreath that I made last week to go on my wall in my foyer so that it fills it out a little bit. And I have got my iron heating up over here because I am using more of a brown fabric and a little bit of that burlap from the wreath, so it kind of coordinates. And we're going to use flowers and leaves and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted a really nice wall hanging kind of plushy, so it's going to have some polyfill in it as well. I could use my sewing machine, but I don't feel like using it today. So we're going to use a handy dandy hot glue gun. So this is a different one. I think I used the pink one when I was making the wreath, but either way, I think I have two of them. I'm going to upgrade to a higher temp soon enough. So anyways, I'm going to iron my backing fabric and then I will be back with you to get started. So here we are, and this is that fabric that I was ironing. I just wanted to show you here, this was another one of my clearance spines. It's a 44-inch fabric remnant by 31 inches. Originally $2, reduced 25%. I paid $1.29 for all this fabric. So, proof's in the pudding. Hunt those clearance racks. And these are always like somewhere stashed in the bottom of something, or they're never right in your face. So, alright, so how this works is, you guys know I'm a fan of May May. I've said it 100 times probably by now, but she had done one of these with like a maple leaf or something like that on her channel. I will definitely link it because this is not my idea. This was her idea and I'm just changing it to kind of fit what I like. She did it with like a white burlap, I think. So I will link that video down below for you guys. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go through here with my hot glue gun, and I am literally going, this fabric is folded in half, so I am going to go through here and hot glue my pumpkin down. I was looking for something to put, oh, hang on just a second, I'm going to put something in between like these layers of fabrics. This is like a twill. I don't know what the hot glue will go through, but I'm gonna put something under there anyway just to make sure. So give me just a second. There was some food delivered to work forever ago, and I don't know if it was food or if my boss went shopping or something, but this is a very large craft paper bag. I'm gonna use it for something else, some other type of upcycle. I'm probably going to age this or something, get some distressing. But if it gets marred up, I really don't care. So I'm gonna stick this in between my layers of fabric here under my pumpkin. Smooth this back out. And you guys can, if you see, I did not iron this perfectly because I'm not sewing it. And as I glue things down, it will stretch out. This thing was badly wrinkled. I mean, it was folded and rolled into a little roll. It was crazy. So basically what I want to do is I want to leave myself, you know, fabric around the edge, and I'm gonna slit it and do things to it. You'll see. This idea is in my head, and like I said, I'm gonna take what May May did and I'm gonna change it to work for me. So let's get rocking and rolling here. And that's literally all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this pumpkin over and I'm just gonna slap some glue kind of in the middle bits here and then slap him back down. And it doesn't matter if it's crooked because I'll be able to fix all that with scissors. So you just want to go through and glue our pumpkin down. This is a low temp glue gun, so I'm not too worried about touching the glue. So all I'm going to do is lift up, that center part's already glued down, and I'm just going to basically go back and forth here and then slap that down. So, pumpkins on there. Now I'm going to take out that protector, and the hot glue didn't go through, so we're good. So I'm gonna take this out. You guys will probably see that again. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue picking at these strings because of my OCD-ness. So I'm going to go through with my fabric scissors. These are very pointy scissors. I only use them for cutting fabric. They are, I have no idea what name brand, but they have like this little quick loop here and they lock. So it's really good for my kids, because if I send them to get them, you can see they don't, if they're locked, they don't open. Alright, so let's cut this guy out. Now, I'm going to leave myself a good edge here, because what I want to do is cut in and make little frays and knots and things. So I'm pretty much going to just cut off the raw edge, and then not be too perfect. So I want it to be rustic. Sorry if you see things flying around. I've been trying to get rid of these things, but my Scentsy warmer seems to bring these little friends in because they like the smell of it, and I've been able to open my windows a little bit for some airing out here lately. Loosely following the top here, and I'm alrighty. So if you had pinking shears, you could use pinking shears here. It would work great. Here's all the leftover fabric. You never know what you could use that for. It's actually a really nice soft fabric. So I will hang on to this because I'm sure there's something I could probably use some brown fabric for. So basically, I gave myself a good little seam allowance around the entire pumpkin. What I'm gonna do now is on this edge, I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to use my pumpkin, and I'm going to do a bead of hot glue as close to the edge as I can. And then I'm basically going to be making a pillow. So I'm going to do this whole top section and leave myself a good bit right here that I can get my hand into. This is a very hot glue heavy project. If you want to do it with a sewing machine and you're great with a sewing machine, great. I have a Singer Simple, and I could have done it with that. I just opted for something that more crafters have. I mean, you can go out and buy a glue gun for $5. You can't really go out and buy a sewing machine for $5. But I did get my sewing machine on Craigslist for $30, and it came with a whole bunch of stuff. Gal was moving out of state and was just basically getting rid of it. So, like I said, I'm gonna go. You want this to be really good, because you don't want any of the stuffing to come out. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna turn him this time. I don't know why everything ends up being a him. just kind of feeling along here. For the edge of my pumpkin guy. Just making sure that we are good down. Oop. Hot glue gun down. You could probably use a fabric glue for this as well. Let's see, I got a little spot here that didn't necessarily want to glue down there. And you just go through and do the whole thing like this until you get back to that first bit, leaving yourself, like I said, you want to leave that opening for yourself to be able to stuff him. Sorry if I'm bumping you guys again, but okay, let's see how we did. So I have, that's a little bit much, I don't need that much open. Now what I'm going to do is go through and check over here what's cold. See this little bit? This fabric might not work with this technique. I like it better, so I hope it is. I'm hoping I just didn't get the glue thick enough. Yeah, that seems to be the... I might have to break out the fabric glue. I really don't want to. I like the instant gratification of hot glue. If you hear things going on, Cora is across the hallway. Kids are away this weekend, and my husband has taken some downtime and playing some video games. And I'm in here doing my hobby, my craft. If I had a higher temp gun, this would work a lot easier. You wouldn't have to go through and worry about it as much. I missed a spot here. I like completely missed a spot. What's funny is I missed the same spot on the top. I know I put down that I was going to get my nails done, but I took Friday off of work, so I could spend it with my family. Both my kids were sick, and I had parent-teacher conferences, which if you watch my planner videos, you guys know, because I think I probably mentioned it like 30 times. Everything's good. My kids are doing good in school, so that's really good. All right. Now, we have two options from this point. One is I can go ahead and snip all my edges, or two, I can go ahead and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and stuff with polyfill. I have a pillow form here that I bought. I don't even know when or why, but basically basically it has this stuff in it. I'm probably gonna make a pillow for my couch. But what I'm gonna do is stuff this inside here. And it'll go in, if I can quit fumbling. And I always like shred it a little bit more. I don't know why. This stuff is really bumpy, so it's really not good for a pillow per se, but you could definitely use it for this. It's not going to be like super fluffy. Like that is going to bother me, so I'm going to go ahead and glue those edges down before I go any further here. Like it to be three-dimensional, you can leave it to pop up like that. Like this one's gonna pop up because I didn't do the very edge. And I don't know. I don't think I could deal with that popping up. So we're just gonna keep stuffing until we get to the thickness that we want. To be super thick, so I'm literally just going to go a little bit at a time. I just want it to have some roundness to it because it's a pumpkin. So he's going to be a little bit fuller in the middle than on the edges. White polyfill everywhere. Alright, I'm gonna finish stuffing this and I'll be right back with you guys. I have this stuff to a consistency that I'm happy with. You can kind of see it's a little fluffy, but not, you know, too much. You can see where the glue is. So I'm gonna go through and glue this section. Sorry, you may not be able to see it up there. But I'm going to glue this section closed, and that's going to make our little fluffy wall hanging. So, let's see. Well, I got some spots up here that I didn't glue. So, I knew I missed some of this leaf, but I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. But I'm not too worried if glue shoots out up here because I'm going to be decorating this. That was my finger again. Lovely. Alright, so all I'm going to do is now I'm going to go in here, zhuzh some of this up here, and then I'm going to do like I did on the rest of the pumpkin and just glue him shut. And just hold it down till it cools. So I think that's good. Don't feel any openings or gaps where that stuff could come out. Yeah, anywhere that the outer detail here is sticking up, just go through and, you know, tack it down really quick. And then, so that bit's done. And now what I'm gonna do is I like those rag quilts, so I'm kind of taking this idea from the rag quilt. Make sure you guys can see. I'm going to go in here and I'm only gonna snip just a little bit in. And I want it to look kind of like the edges of a scarecrow. don't want it to be close to where I glued it because I don't want it to impact the glue on the inside that's holding the fabric together. And this is just going on the wall inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it, you know, facing any kind of wind or anything like that. So we're just going to go through here and cut these so that they look tattered. See what I'm doing. Just going through and making little incision bits. If you guys have made any of those what do you call them, those fleece blankets where you just, you know, cut the edges and then tie the knots, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just doing it with fabric here. And just keep going. And we're almost done. I'm trying to keep this, you know, real time as possible so you guys can see how long it actually takes me. Fuzzies everywhere. Now, anywhere that I have enough fabric, I'm just going to do some quick little knots like so. It doesn't have to be every single one, and actually I'm not going to do every single one. I'm only going to grab the ones that I know I can tie, just to give that little something extra to it. I have a lot of friends in here today. They're driving me a little crazy. It's up to you, your aesthetic. If you wanted to leave these a little bit longer and excuse me, my throat, I tell ya. You want to make these longer so you had more room to tie, or if you wanted to use two different color fabric, like for Christmas, if you wanted to do like red on the front and green on the back, and you know, do that bit, then when you tied them, you would be able to see the colors. Then that would be, you know, fun as well. Keep thinking I have this one and then I don't have it. definitely need to get them trimmed back when I go this time because they are so long. And you can always just, instead of going front to back, you could tie two next to each other, or like on other opposite sides. I don't personally care one way or the other. It's just personal preference. See, to me it just gives it something else. I don't like that one. So let's see here. What's this one? Oh, long scissors. Those are not gonna cut fabric. Because those are going to look funny hanging by themselves, we'll just tie that one really quick. And then I'm just going to work my way around. Like this one here, I need it to be a little bit longer so that I can tie it efficiently. At least I hope. You guys get the idea. I'm going to finish tying, you know, some of these all the way around, and then I'll be back with you. So I went through and tied a bunch and roughed up all of these little bits here. So there's a little bit of strings and things everywhere. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate the top, because right now it looks, I mean, it's cute. I can hang it on the wall, but that's not my style. So I have some things. I have some burlap from the wreath we made, that flower that I didn't use. I have some tulle and some orange sparkly, some raffia, some green flowers, and then all of my leaves. So I think I'm going to use these because I like these colors here. Some jute twine, and then I have some more of those sparkly ones that I used in the wreath the other day as well. So I'm just going to start doing the top of my pumpkin. I'm going to set that aside, the jute twine, the raffia. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself just like an odd strip. I'm going to use my craft scissors because I don't want to get these scissors on this, you know, my fabric scissors all chewed up with this burlap. So I just trimmed that weird corner off. How much do I want? I don't think I want too terribly much, so I think I'm just going to go like 5 inches, maybe 4 inches. Make myself a little rectangle here. Alright, so still gonna set that aside and save it. Set that aside and save it. Now, I have my little rectangle of weird, you know, unravelly burlap. I'm going to take the 2 raw ends, bring them to the middle, and then gather it up like so. And you can make a bow that way, which that could be cute. Or I think what I'm more than likely going to do layer this in like so. Yep. So I'm not gonna do a bow. I'm gonna kind of glue this down in this fashion here. Now I'm scooting stuff everywhere. There's my pumpkins catching everything. Alright, so this is burlap. It has holes, but what I'm going to do is basically just kind of glue it down like I have it here. If you have any kind of silicone, you know, kitchen utensils or anything like that, you can use that to help you with the gluing process if you have a really high temp gun. I always just, because I can peel it off my craft scissors, so let's see. What's next? Bring this around. Put some here. Now that just got on my fingers. You could cut that off, but just because I don't want any more mess, I'm just going to run it right here and glue it down. So I'm going to glue down this little corner bit here. That's where I wanted it glued down at. Make sure I get this last bit here glued down. Now, there's my little pumpkin stem, technically. Here's the leaf. This is why I told you it didn't really matter if any glue got like crazy right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to run glue all the way down this thing here. And stick her on there. Okie dokie. Now I'm gonna open my raffia. This came from Dollar Tree. You get 2 bundles of it. Cut this open. This has a smaller bundle in it, which I don't need. And then I'm gonna open this up and make a very large mess. Raffia always makes a mess. Craft scissors, cut this little connecting bit off here. Take a piece of my jute twine. You could use florist wire if you wanted to. I have some, I just don't really care to use that. I'm gonna get all this sorted here. Okay. Now, this is how I make a messy raffia bow. I get it to where I've got the middle, which was where it was folded and bound and tied. Cut that off and then separate it somewhat. I don't go crazy with straightening it out. So then I grab the right side, make a loop, pinch it in the middle. Grab the left side, make a loop, pinch it in the middle. And just keep doing that. So you can do something like that. Or I'm actually going to thin this out a little bit. I'm only going to take this little bit here. And now, if you're having a problem with kinks in your raffia, you can always soak it in water and then let it air dry. I'm not too terribly particular. So I'm just gonna do the 2 loops because it's pretty much getting buried. And yeah, so I'm going to take this jute cord I just cut, wrap it around. Now, if I was worried about that little bit of the jute cord showing, I would snip it off, but because I'm going to be layering this up pretty good, I'm not even going to worry about it. So I'm just going to stick a ton of glue back here, and I'm just going to stick it down right there, because that's about where I'm thinking in my head I want it. I'm not going to use this on this project. I was thinking about using it to add some sparkle, but I don't think it's going to need sparkle with that sunflower. So I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, that's all my... Like I said, raffia makes a mess. Alright, so this is what we've got so far. We've got our pumpkin wall hanger with our little raffia type bow. Now, I don't need this for this one, so I can probably use that to make a hair clip or anything. So now what I'm going to do is set that aside. I'm going to take some of these leaves and start gluing these in. Sorry if I'm off camera here, guys. So. Now these here were from the Dollar Tree. You got a fair bit of them for the money. So you saw me use them in that other wreath, so yeah. So that works. Stick this one in the burlap there. Under the raffia there. This is just for a little bit of sparkle. And trust me, it helps to stand up and look at it from time to time. Let's take this other one way back here in this general area. You want depth. So you want depth of, so this is down here, this is closer to the top, this one's mid-range, and then far back. So that just helps with the appeal to the eye. I mean, ultimately this is going to pretty much just go in the middle with these little green flowers. But I'm going to add some more leaves to this really quick. Now what I'm going to do here, because these are separated by size and color, is I'm going to start with this biggest one and kind of put it inside there. So because these are, you know, made for this, they don't have any stems in them, which is, you know, great. I'm gonna put this little brown one a little bit lower. This one up under here. So you're getting that depth, like I said, of color. I think this one's gonna go in that general area. So I'm only gonna put glue on the bottom so that he can stand up. Or maybe that guy can go right there. I only put glue on the bottom of that one as well. So far, so good. Let's see, there's what we're looking like at the top. Next up, I am blending those leaves out of the way. And I'm gonna take these guys, and I don't even need to clip these because they're just little heads. I'm gonna pop these off and kind of, you know, position them around here. And this was 97 cents at Walmart. So don't overlook it because you might not need very much, but you just need that, you know, extra layer of color, which is basically all I need here. Is I just want these extra layers of, you know, color and dimension and things like that. Sorry, I did that one off camera again. Sorry, guys. Now I want one here in this area here, so let me reposition you guys. I know you're going to catch my wall, but what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to grab my clippers, and I'm actually going to cut a little ways down here. These are the Dollar Tree clippers. They're pretty good. Now, you have a straight flower, so if I stick it in like that, you're going to get the side of the flower. All you're going to do is bend that wire, fluff your flower, stick your glue in this area just like I was doing for the leaves, and we're gonna put this baby in that back corner like I wanted. So I want him right back here, like so. See how he stays right there? And because I don't like evens, I'm going to go odd, and I'm going to clip another. Well, I've got two left, so might as well just use all of them. So I'm going to clip this off. And clip this off. Now, you have a few options. You can take these leaves and save them for another project because they don't have any stemming on them. Or you can toss them. You know what? I might actually save them because I might be able to use them in another craft. So I'm going to pull those off and put them in a Ziploc bag. And then that way if I need them for a card or anything like that, I have them. Okie dokie. So, here are my last two flowers. I want one over here. Now this one, I want it to lay more flat because I want it like that. And this one is going to be kind of the same thing. I want it to lay more flat back here. So hope that makes sense. So I'm going to, I need a glue stick. So I'm going to put my glue along this stem and then far as it'll go. Just like so. Now this guy over here is the same thing. Excuse me. A little bit of glue. Up and around there. Now I had him in this general area right here, like so. There we go. Now, I feel like I need another leaf right here, so let me grab that pack of leaves. So let's go with one of these. Maybe this larger yellow one could go in there. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift that up and I'm going to stick it under there by putting glue along the bottom. So glue along the bottom. Lift all of this up as it turns away from my camera. And put it under there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some glue on that flower stem. And see, I tucked that in there way too deep. So I'm going to take one of these little green ones. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to glue him on the bottom. Lift him up a little bit again. And just kind of let him fall right there. Now, my last piece is this giant sunflower right in the middle. That's the last piece for the decor part, and then we'll do our hanger. So, because I want this to stay, I'm going to put a lot of glue on here. Hold him down. There we go. Alright, so I've got everything layered in here, as you guys can see. I have a couple of options. I always like to go over the options. Now, I have this bright green that I used on my wreath. I could use that. I have this pretty orange. I could use that. I could layer another bow in here if I wanted to. I really don't want to. I'm going to use my jute cord and I'm going to make a wall hanger with it. Again, with my voice. Oh my goodness. So, I'm going to flip this guy over. And this up here is supposed to be off to the left. So I want my hanger to go up this way. Now, there's a couple options here. You could use wire. You could have laid this in between the layers as you were gluing them together. But I'm going to do it this way. That seems like plenty. And then set that aside. I have a couple of options for this. You remember that little piece of scrap burlap? This guy? We're about to use him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple of pieces off, kind of square it off. Set that aside. Now, if I just glue this down over here willy-nilly, it's probably not going to hold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a knot here and a knot here. And then, let's see, where's my flower? Right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to the farthest bit of glue on this side and the farthest bit of glue on this side. And I'm going to glue these two knots down by just putting a big old thing of hot glue right there. Drag this guy through it. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to add more glue. I'm going to pop that out on top of it. Scissor trick. Now, as you can, I don't know if you can actually see that, but the glue is pushing through the burlap. And if glue gets on your craft scissors, it peels right off. So I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. Trying to keep them as even as possible. Burlap. Alright, now that I have a mess all over the back of my hanging. Alright. That side's cooled down, so I'm just going to trim off a little bit of that excess here. You don't have to. I said try cooled. I meant cool. Now let's cool a little bit. Alright, and I have glue strings everywhere. Okie dokie. Alright, so there's how I'm going to hang this guy. And I'm actually going to reinforce this one little bit right here. And that's all we gotta do, guys, is just reinforce that guy. This side, making sure that we are covered. Okay, so that's how we're gonna hang this, like so, in my foyer. And get all my crazy stuff off of my pumpkin. Straighten out the raffia a little bit. And there you go, guys. There's my pumpkin wall hanging. I'll have some pictures for you of it hanging up in my foyer next to that wreath I made. And if you guys enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more crafty projects coming for Christmas. Thanks, guys. Bye.